Go ahead, Keith.
Okay, good evening. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you waiting. We had a couple minutes to talk about a couple things here. So we get our meeting started with item number 1's approval of the April 21st, 2022 meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve.
Excuse me, meeting agenda. I'm so sorry, the agenda for tonight, not the meeting minutes. I jumped again. So the meeting agenda for tonight now is moved to approve by Joe Jean.
I'll second.
And that's unanimous. Okay. All right, we have a few attendees tonight, so I'd like to do the attendees first and appreciate them taking their time this evening to join us. So item number 7, we have John, you could bring that attendee over. Item number 7 is for 7T Place. It's an exterior alteration request.
Okay, Rebecca, I brought you over.
Okay. Hi there.
Howdy.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
We can. Thank you so much for joining us. Just taking a quick look. I got to find your application. I had it here.
That's the rotten deck replacement.
Yeah,
That's correct.
that is. Any comments, conversations?
I'll move to approve.
I second.
Okay, that's unanimous.
Thank you all very much.
Easy
Thank
one
you
for you,
very much.
Rebecca.
Take care.
You too.
And John, the only additional comments that we would have on anything like that, of course, is standard verbiage, county permits when required, homeowner is required to pull them.
If there's anything pertinent to the meeting minutes, just make sure you mention them during the live meeting here, because I believe that'll be done by Deb.
Okay, Deb, that would be the only comment on that, any permits required, that they would be responsible to pull them. Okay. Anybody have any preference? I'm thinking item number 11. We just go down the list. Item number 11, they're here. So that would be 2 Rocky Ridge. You can bring them over, John.
All right, Stephanie, I've brought you over.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get to your paperwork here, so give me a second. Oh, okay. I know this one, yes. All right, this is the 3-tiered deck you guys are doing on the left-hand side of the house.
Yeah.
The only problem I had with it wasn't staked out, although fortunately the contractor was on site, so he was able to walk it with me. So I wasn't able to visually see. I don't know, Joe Jean or Rich, if you guys were able to take a look.
I went out to the site, but I couldn't really tell where they were talking about it.
Yeah, it was a little difficult. It was high up on the left-hand side, so it's up toward
Yeah.
your.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were planning on having access to it from like the rear of the house. So we have a slider that goes out to the back of the house. And so it would be a little bit away from the house, but it would start like for that highest tier would start at the back of the house. And then there'd be 2 other tiers and there'd be another entrance at the driveway level.
And as I looked at your drawing, I went by the house. So if I'm reading it right, you're basically looking at 400 or 500 square feet, roughly.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Keith will probably mention this too, but with a deck that size, you do have to get it county permitted. I don't have a problem with it. You're well within your lot size with the double lot there. But the county will want that because it's considered permeable or impermeable or whatever they call it.
Yeah, and our contractor is going to help facilitate that for us. We are aware that we need a permit.
And is any of it going to have a roof? Because you mentioned the outdoor kitchen.
None of it will have like a full roof. We may put in like a kind of like just a slanted like lean-to kind of roof to cover a portion of it, or potentially like a pergola. But that would only be on, it would probably be on either the upper level or the lower level.
Okay. Just so you know, one of the things I've seen with projects like this is folks usually want to do a clear or glass top or something. And what I'll often see is someone will buy the corrugated plastic that looks like metal, but it's see-through
Oh,
plastic.
that will not be happening at our house.
Yeah.
I can promise you that.
Yep, that's my only caution is don't do that because it's bad.
No. It'll be fancy.
Yeah, well, I move to approve then if there's no other questions.
I'll second.
Okay, that's Joe Jean, second. Okay, and that's unanimous.
Can
And
I ask a
then
question?
with the couple comments, so we do want to say that if you are going to add a roof portion, at the time you're going to add that, you would come back to the ACC with what your intentions are there, and that the permit required, county permit required. So we would ask that you pull your county permit and
Okay.
engineering if required, and so forth, as a county would ask you for.
Okay.
And Joe Jean, did you have a comment?
Oh, no.
Okay, and then that would be it. So you're approved with those two comments.
Thank you. I have a quick question. Is this the right place to talk about, like, it doesn't sound like it is, but we've been having some issues with our wet slip. We were given a permanent wet slip last year, and then now we're being told that it wasn't filed correctly, and we're pretty frustrated. So I'm assuming this isn't the right place to talk about it, but I mean, can you tell me where I need to go and who I need to chat with? Because the rec people are basically just deferring responsibility to the board.
Yeah. So that would be at the board meeting. So at the board meeting, there's a homeowner comment session that you can, you're just like now on the Zoom session. So you can chime in there, and you can certainly voice that. Also, there's a rec manager. I believe now, I'm not 100% on that. I know we were heading that is the rec manager now.
Yeah, Dan Perrine is the director of Parks and Recreation. I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity to speak to him, but if you call over to the Recreation Center and ask for Dan Perrine, that might be
we actually know Dan, so
okay,
we'll reach out to him.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, now we'll go down to item number 13. They're here tonight in attendance. That's 9 Inglewood Place, exterior alteration. It is a paint request.
I believe that's Raul. I brought you on over.
Yeah, that's me. I also, there wasn't enough colors on that sheet that you guys provide. I mean, so I talked to Debbie and I gave her copies of two paint strips from Sherman-Williams, additional colors that I leaning towards their neutral colors. I gave them to Debbie, and I hope she passed them on to you guys.
So is this for the entire house?
The outside, yes.
So what would be your primary color of the house, and what would be the trim?
Well, like I said, if you would have had the sheet and the strips that I sent.
Yeah, I'm looking at them.
Okay, the strips would be, I haven't decided yet, but the cedar bark, could be the Mission Law, it could be the Spice Quest, it could be the Cedar Mill. They're all neutral colors. The covered bridge would be the main color. One of these would be the main color. And the strip, the siding is a kind of a dark brown, the trimming. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm going towards. And I might choose another one from that sheet. I might go back to that sheet also. And I didn't take a good look at that sheet, but.
So are you just, what is it you're asking for us to approve? Just any color from this sheet, or?
No, just tell me which ones I can use on these two strips in addition that I sent you. Which of these colors are okay and which aren't?
So what we would typically do is you would tell us, hey, I want to use this color for the main body of my house. Yeah. And I want to use this trim color, and then we would approve those specific colors.
Okay, let me start over again. The trimming is the dark, almost coffee. That's going to stay. I don't want that. I'm not going to cover.
So you're not going to paint the trim, just the body.
Just the body.
Okay,
And I'm leaning towards, again, I haven't decided, so keep that in mind. And
okay.
you got the mission wall, which is sort of a brownish oak
Yeah.
color. You got the cedar bark, spicy chest. So you get an idea. It's going to be
Yeah. So your trim is staying the color it currently is on the house.
exactly.
And that color was what?
It's kind of a chocolate, it's kind of an espresso, dark, super
That's a
dark,
dark brown. Yeah.
chocolate, a chocolate brown. So I wanted to contrast a lighter color like one of the ones I just mentioned.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm
I
gonna
think
leave it to
cedar
one of
bark
those
would look
two.
good.
Pardon me?
I think cedar bark would look good. I've seen a lot of houses with a dark.
Yeah, I'm
brown
leaning
trim.
towards that one or the mission wall because I want to get one close to oak color.
Yeah, I'm just worried that Mission Wall will come out a little more red than you think.
Well, you
when
got
it's
one on that
a
sheet. You have one on that sheet that on the sheet you guys provide. That's a kind of a red wood color.
Yeah, I saw redwood. That's definitely. I wouldn't vote
No,
for
I'm
that
saying
one.
you're not listening to me. I'm saying the sheet that you guys provide
The pre-approved colors.
Yeah, I know which
that
one you're
there's
talking
a
about.
red one in there. If you look closely, there's a red one in there,
Mhm.
right?
I'm just thinking with your color trim and everything. When I drove by the house, I
Yeah,
didn't
you're
realize
right.
it was
I'm not.
trim.
I'm not going with the redwood. I'm not going with the redwood. I'm going
Well,
more with
I would vote in favor of cedar bark if that's what you're leaning towards.
cedar bark or the mission wall. Those three are close, very close.
Yeah, they're very close.
So it's not going to be a crazy dark offset color because that would offset the trimming. You
Okay, so if you're asking us to approve, are you gonna say then, Rich, are you gonna go with one of those three colors or do you want to try to stick to one color?
I would move to approve cedar bark. That's what I would say.
So you're going to give me just one option.
Well, because if we try to approve a color family, that's not really what we do. We don't approve like 5 different colors for you to choose from. We usually
you
only
have a
approve
whole sheet
one
that you
specific
approve out.
color.
You have a whole sheet that you approve. I don't know how many colors on that sheet.
Yeah, and on that sheet you can use any one of them. I mean, we spent a lot of time making sure all of those were pre-approved, so we wouldn't have to.
Well, the reason I gave you the strips, what is your name?
Rich.
Rich. The reason I gave these 2 strips to you is to give you an idea, to give me an option to consider more than just cedar bark. For you to say, well, you got to use cedar bark, I don't think that's right because, like I said, spicy chest and mission wall and cedar mill are those 4 colors I'm considering, and they're not going to be offsetting the trim. They're going to be in harmony with the dark trim. So it's not that big of a deal really to add.
Okay, what I'll tell you, I'll just give you an example of something that's happened in the past. We approved multiple colors. Like we said, okay, you can use any one of these 5 colors. And what we had was a homeowner that painted one wall one color, another wall a different color, because we had approved all 5 colors.
Okay, here's the deal.
Like that we approved it. So that's why we typically don't approve.
Here's the deal. I want to paint one of those colors, the whole house. I'm not going to do one wall, one color, one. That's ridiculous.
I know. I agree.
Let me finish.
I'm not saying that you're going to do that, but that's how we approve it.
Can I finish, please?
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to do the whole house one color. You can drive by, you can inspect it. And like my word is my word. Like I said, it's going to be one of those 4 colors. I haven't decided. It's probably going to be the cedar bark, but I'm not ruling out the other colors I just named. Now, it's not going to be there's not going to be any other weird redwood or any other color that I'm going to narrow it down to.
Well, hey, Raul, I would say this because typically, like Rich pointed out, it's a homeowner supposed to come to us with, hey, this is the color I want to paint my house, not us to pick a color out for you. So we're taking a lot of time here on trying to help you with this. And I would say you should really pick out the color and let us know which one you want to go with your house here.
Okay. Okay, now I'll say the last thing and then I've got to get going here. First of all, about what you just said earlier, like I said in the beginning, you really, Williams offers a whole spectrum of colors
Sure,
that you don't have on that sheet.
sure.
I
know
didn't
that.
like those colors, so that's why I went to Sherwin-Williams. My painter said, go find out what you like and give the samples of those to the this board here, this committee. So I did that, and I can't tell you which one I'm going to use. Like I said, I just told you the 4 colors, and you got a samples of those. And if you're going to just narrow it down to the cedar, what is it? The
Cedar bark.
Cedar bark. See, there's an next door neighbor of mine who has a similar. I don't want to be close to his color. I don't want to have his color is close to that color. So I don't want to be. I don't want to paint it the same color.
Let me ask you, Raul, if that's the case, then it shouldn't even be submitted on here. Help us out. Why don't you pick out the colors, remove the ones that you're not even interested in, take them off the sheet so we're not looking at all of them. The sheets that you're talking about that are pre-approved at the admin office, and that we do allow chips to be checked out. If you wanted to take those home and kind of look at them and see if anything would be okay, and then you don't even need to go through us to look at that. The other idea that I've seen people do is pick out, like, go get a pint of a couple different paints and paint it on your house, because you yourself, once you see it, you might change your mind and go, and we've had that happen where people have got one approved color, started painting, and then come back in to change it. So, yeah, so I apologize. I mean, we were hoping to help you out here, and they were willing, it looks like, to approve a color or maybe 2. But I have to go with, we can't spend forever on this. And I would really like you to pick out the colors you want and then tell us, and then let us approve those colors.
Yeah, well, I just told you there's 4 colors that I haven't decided which one, because it's so very close. It's getting a bit, this is ridiculous. But what I'll do is I'm probably going to there's a sale coming on the paint, and it ends on the 25th of next week. So I want to get the paint at 30% off, get the color, and get the whatever gallons it takes. So between now and I guess I can get a pint of each one, put it on the wall, and then come back to you again and say, okay, which one are you going to approve now?
Raul, I would tell you on my sheet that I'm looking at, there are 6 colors that have check marks next to them that I guess you were interested in possibly using. One of those colors being cedar bark. One of those colors, which Rich said he would approve, was cedar bark. That color you said you would not paint because it's the same color as your house next door, your neighbor's house. But yet it's checked on here for us to look at. No,
I understand that, but I'm looking at it. I keep looking. I have to go to. I got to get over there and put this color next to his house. But yeah, I'll probably lean towards cedar bark. But the mission wall looks. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like. I don't know. I didn't think it was going to be this big of a deal, really. So I'll figure it out.
Dean, you had a question?
What?
Can you just pick out 3 of these colors that you like, and then we could approve those 3, and then you pick
that's common sense. That makes sense. Thank you very much.
Of the 3, so that you can start buying it. And is this listing of the approved paints that we have at the office?
No, it is not.
No.
That's why I send those 2 strips I give those 2 strips to Debbie.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you just tell us over again, because I kind of got a little confused in all the discussion. Which are the 3 that you prefer?
Okay. We'll narrow it down to 3 that I like. Cedar Mill. Oh boy.
Cedar Mill.
Yeah. See it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Cider Mill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mission Wall.
Okay.
And one more. The cedar bark. That's it.
Okay. Well, I would move to approve those 3 colors.
So we're talking. Let's go one more time, and I gotta get out. Mission Wall. We got cedar bark, right?
Yes.
And the third one was Cedar Mill.
That's what I wrote down.
Okay, so I don't want to, throw another.
So I'm looking at Sherwin-Williams site. It's saying that these are exterior stains. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yeah, it's a
Okay.
stain.
I'm just making
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's a stain. It's not a paint. That's why you can't get stain with the other, the brighter colors. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a different thing.
Yeah, well, that makes a difference too. Okay,
Because they're semi-transparent stains.
Yeah, that's more like you try and make it look like wood, as natural, as close to wood as possible.
oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, my computer screen here shows the colors a bit better than what I have on the scanned copy. They're all really close in colors.
Yeah, yeah.
Those
I'm
three
just trying to get the. I'm gonna probably go with the darkest one I can find there, probably. Of the three.
Oh, I think cedar bark is your darkest one.
Cedar bark. Yeah.
It looks the darkest to me.
Okay. Well, how about that mission wall is pretty dark too. But I'm probably going to go with the cedar bark.
Well, I move to approve the three you just mentioned.
Okay.
And one of you guys is, we needed a second or,
I'll second.
Okay. All right, it's so those three colors then, is that what you guys are going with? Cider mill, excuse me, mission wall and cedar bark.
correct,
Cedar bark, mission wall, and
cedar mill.
And cider mill.
Cider mill.
cider mill. Exactly.
Okay, Raul, I hope that helps you, sir. And
It does.
you've been approved for one of those three colors.
It does. I appreciate it. Good night and have a good weekend.
Hey, thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye.
thank you.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So on that one, I had an issue just because, like Rich noted, it didn't say body color, trim color. It was like a guess. I was like, I'm not going to be guessing what color goes where and so
Oh,
forth.
yeah, I kind of wondered too, but
You guys were very, very generous, very gracious.
We've had a case in the past where we approved like a group of colors and the homeowner then painted the house, not one of the 5 approved colors, a completely different color that was in the same family, and it did not look great.
was that on Windward by chance?
No. Oh, are you talking about the greenhouse?
No, there was a blue one and gate 1 on Windward where they made it paint it again.
There was a green one down by the AM/PM beaches that we had approved, and then it was not the color that we had approved. And
that guy never repainted it, did he?
yeah, I think he actually ended up getting fined, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's why we try not to approve multiple colors at once.
When I painted my house, I got like 5 little cans and painted them all around the house. And then when the ACC came by, they picked the color they liked the best, which happened to be the one I liked the best.
Yeah, I did
Almost
the same.
never
I
happens.
painted mine.
Okay, guys, we're going to move on to item number 16. That attendees with us, and that'll be 29 Horseshoe Circle.
Yeah, I believe that's
Exterior
Charles.
alteration request.
Charles, I'll go ahead and bring you on over here. All right, there you go.
Testing. Can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you great.
Great. Good afternoon.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
Thank you for the work.
Okay, this is. Oh, this is that color.
Wait, so was this the one that you want to paint the house tricorn black?
Yes.
Okay.
So discussions on this.
Is this color on the approved list?
I don't think so.
No, it's not for the body.
Yeah, not. Any opinions, any discussions? I didn't, so you're proposing to paint the house, the color that you have it painted right now, right? That picture that's on here and the one that's currently on the house, right? The color?
Well, most of the house is kind of like light purplish. So we did partial part of the front we painted with that color to evaluate how it would look from the street and from elsewhere. And so what you see in that photo is basically that quick, basically tricorn black. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I just for me, I'm not a fan. That's just my opinion. You know, it's not a subdued color for sure, but that's why
it does. It does lighten up. There's a few examples that you see the ones that I showed. There's 4 or 5 different examples that have a similar color. So there's 21 Deer Run Lane, 74. Okay.
And you know, and so here's the deal with that too, is each house we look at individually and each location individually. So there might be a few houses around that are colors that are similar. And some other people do this when they submit, they'll take pictures of houses and I'll say, that's a perfect example of why we don't allow that color, or 3 of the houses you showed in your pictures weren't approved.
Okay.
So that's not always the good example to use. So like I said, just for me, but that's why I like different people on here. So you get different ideas on paint colors and different ideas of what people think are subdued.
Is the trim going to stay white?
There's trim around the windows that we intend to stay white. We're certainly open to options there, but currently planning to be white there.
Are you planning on painting the lattice and the wood posts and stuff around the porch?
Not at this time. We're open to discussion, but we're going for the natural wood on that.
What do your neighbors think?
Actually, they really like it. So we had multiple neighbors say they really like that color and they want us to go forward with it. So.
My only, I mean, it's not my personal taste, which is fine. But you know, one of the requirements that we have to weigh when we're approving the colors is neighborhood aesthetics and subdued colors and how well it blends in the neighborhood. And I did not make it by this house during this tour. I mean, I appreciate all the pictures.
Okay.
So I just know in the past we have declined to let people this exact color, tricorn black.
Okay.
People have come to us. It's been several years. So I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but I'm not going to vote to approve it. I don't like the black.
Yeah, and unfortunately, neither am I. So that puts you at a loss here. Joe Jean, what's your thoughts?
Well, I was going to vote to approve, even though I didn't think it was a good color. Because
so Charles, to further on that, so for me, I just didn't think it fit in well, and it's like it was hard. You're right. So the color, I know you were trying to explain how it looks. So I did go out there and I looked at it intently, and I just couldn't get on with it. I'm really sorry about that, but yeah, I wasn't feeling it.
Okay.
What I would suggest, Charles, because I do know 30 Rocky Ridge and 43 Rocky Ridge, which you have submitted pictures of as examples.
Yes.
And both of the bodies of those are a dark gray. And I'm not even a fan of gray, but that's the majority of houses out here with black trim, which I would absolutely vote for because that blends really well with your natural wood. It blends well with the surrounding trees and the darkness of the foliage. And that dark gray just really, I think the black trim makes it just look really sharp. But when you kind of go with, because in your photo, you've got the garage door is black and it just, everything kind of gets matted out. I think it just becomes more obtrusive for the natural surroundings than it does for the aesthetic purpose, right? So I think if you were looking more at a gray with the black trim, I'd be happy to vote for one of those.
Okay, something a bit lighter.
Yeah.
Do we have colors that are like a dark gray that's approved?
I
record?
don't have the colored palette in front of me, so I don't know what the names of the colors are, but I know we have a couple of dark grays on there. Now, you might have it, Keith. Do you have the approved colors? in front of you?
I do. I am looking for it right now. It's right here. Let me just take a quick look.
But I do know we've approved tricorn black for trim in some cases.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like an attitude gray on here. A paved stone. You know what you might do, Charles? You can go by the admin office and check out the list. Or you can, in our policy book too, the list was printed in there. And you can check out chips at the office. So if you wanted to, so you go get one of these rings, you can take it back to your house and kind of check it out. But it has trim and the body colors as well.
Okay.
So thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you remember in the policy manual where the paint colors were? Are they an addendum at the back or are they one of the pages?
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think
remember.
think they were in the appendix. I'm going to check real quick. Yeah, on the last page, appendix 0.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, and they give you the Sherwin-Williams colors. You can actually type those in on your computer and look at them. And usually most computer screens are somewhat accurate.
Right.
I can provide the link to Sherwin-Williams site if you have an easy way to copy and paste this link, Charles.
Yeah, I went there. I didn't see any grays on there. The list was pretty short. Let's see here.
Here, I'll put this in chat to everyone. And that's a link to Sherwin-Williams site. Shows that should be the pre-approved.
Okay,
list.
so there's a few there. So there's like cyberspace down here, peppercorn. Show all colors.
Yeah, and I'll tell you. So just like from the first one, I think it's called Attitude Gray. When you put that in on Sherwin-Williams, it's actually a really nice dark gray. But what they do on their site is they give you some colors that go along with it, like in the same family, both lighter and darker.
Right.
And if you're wanting to go that dark, there's a color called Laurel Woods that's not black. It's actually got a little bit of almost a greenish hue to it. But it's still that really dark color that you're leaning towards. And that might be a winner with a black trim.
Okay.
I think that would look really sharp, but you'd have to make that determination.
Okay, and then cyberspace looks like a dark gray as well there.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah.
Okay. Would it be possible to get approval for, say, the cyberspace and peppercorn, maybe? Or shade, yeah.
Yeah, and then you want to do your trim still white, or what do you want to do with your trim?
So they're on the windows versus the rest of the trim. Is there a distinction there?
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I don't mean you're thinking the vinyl trim around the window. No, the wood trim. Your
wood
trim
trim.
on your
Stick with
siding.
tricorn black on that one.
Let's see. So what do you want to do on the back? The peppercorn on the body, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Let's see. And then stick with the tricorn black on the trim.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Jodine?
I'm okay also.
Okay.
So
cool.
Okay, yeah. So I would move to approve the pre-approved peppercorn color, that SW7674, with tricorn black, the color you submitted, as the wood trim around your doors. And then the only other question we have when you paint the body is, are you going to keep the garage door your trim color, or are you going to keep it your house color?
Good question. You would think that would end up being the body color since it's a bigger surface, but
Yeah, it's a personal choice. I have an
Okay.
opinion, but
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it-
you might do trim on this just because it's so much of the dark color. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe the trim color on that, if you guys are fine either way.
I'm
Okay.
okay with that. So that's my motion, is to approve the peppercorn for the body, tricorn black for the trim.
Okay.
And Joe Jean, you seconded that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's approved by a majority, and with Rich's comments.
All right.
I feel like a designer tonight.
Yeah. I know we had a couple.
I get to watch everybody else paint their houses and decide if I like it. And then I can.
All right.
Okay,
Cool. Well, thank you for your time.
so.
Thanks, Charles.
Thank you, Charles.
Have a great evening now.
You too.
Thank you. So did I
That's gonna-
have, wait a minute, I
That's
think
gonna
I
look
have,
sharp for him. I'm telling you, that peppercorn is a nice color. And I don't like gray houses.
you like that
Nice.
peppercorn?
It's gonna be. I think his house is gonna come out really nice. I think it's gonna be super sharp, and I think he'll be happy with it like that. Especially with some of the examples he provided, because they were dark with dark trim. So I think he's gonna like that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was item number 16, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that is correct. Okay, item number 16. Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 17. This is, they're in attendance tonight. This is 21 Jasper Ridge, exterior alteration. I just haven't left a message for this guy.
I believe
So
that,
John, if you can bring him over, I'd greatly appreciate that.
we've got Paul and Todd. I'm going to go ahead and bring them both over, although I think one is doing most of the discussion here. So Paul and Todd, I've brought you both over.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. So quick question. I left a message, I believe, for Paul, and I think Todd, you tried to get back to me tonight. Is that correct? Todd, you're muted.
Okay, is that better?
Yep, there you go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, so I tried to get a hold of you and kind of discuss it a little bit before we got to the meeting, but here we are. So
Okay, so I have, for me, I have a couple quick questions, and I'm sure these guys have a couple as well. So
sure.
one thing you said, you're adding some deck. You didn't say deck square footage. How much size of deck did you add?
So it's like 96 inches by let me give you a guess, by 28 feet here. So we ran this through Whatcom County, and they're cool with it, but we wanted to make sure that you guys were with it as well. Part of this is we bought this.
No, you're hesitating answering the question, so I'm guessing there's a problem there. How much square footage was the deck?
Sorry, I was doing the math. 224 square feet. My hesitation was simply trying to calculate it quickly.
I was like, oh, something's going on.
Yeah, no. So that end of the house aesthetically looked extremely awkward because it's so tall, and we ended up with a massive height and crawl space on that lower side of the hill. And the original architect Todd Fuller and the engineer Bradley said, it'd be better if we put a floor in the middle of that, and that got to talking about a deck on the outside just so they could move some doors. The homeowners, Paul and Terry, they bought this plan, which wasn't real thought out. I think it was more of a spec house when it was first designed, and they got this house, and then they're just, the contractor's been just trying to make it the best it can be for the circumstances given. And on that side of the house, that structure was so high that deck kind of was thought to break it out. Although the deck got framed well before we got the permission to do it, part of that's kind of some language barrier between the contractor and the homeowners, which turned out to be my fault because I'm kind of that consultant that's kind of between the two parties. So here we are trying to figure out, one, are we going to be able to get approval with Sudden Valley, and is there, and two, we've changed this paint colors. The roof type also changed. It was composite in the beginning. They put a beautiful metal roof on it. We just want to make sure that the aesthetics is great for the neighborhood.
So I have a couple questions.
Sure.
So in the drawings that are provided, it has a red garage door. Is that accurate, or is it body color?
So yeah, so the idea is to have some contrast for the garage door and the front entry door, kind of a rust barn look with those greens, aesthetically look, quite pleasing.
Is that previously approved, or is that part of the paint?
No,
code?
so originally the contractor had completely different colors. Again, we bought the plan. It was approved originally. It's set over the winter. We bought it kind of in the springtime, and we kind of got what he approved. So
Okay.
now we're getting closer to the okay, we want to get this wrapped up. So Paul actually went through and made an amazing drawing and added some colors, and the colors are pretty true to what that picture looks like.
Okay. I don't have any issues with the metal roof. That doesn't bother me. And then, so as far as adding the deck, what does that do to your setbacks on that side of the house, on the property line? Where does that, because if you come out 8 feet, a lot of houses are basically right at 5 or 6 feet off the property line.
So we're about 15 feet from the house to the property line on that side, on the small side, and it gets bigger because the lots, it's a real tough one to decide. And Whatcom County had the same issue. It's kind of because of it's a corner lot in essence, but the corner is so elongated that there's plenty of open space, on one side, and even on the uphill roadside, there's plenty of space. So they were having troubles kind of designating, well, which front lot, back lot, how does it really orientate? And they kind of thought, based on the height and the aesthetics, if you guys want to put a deck there, that's not gonna, it's impervious. There's no roof going to be over it.
Yeah.
And aesthetically, it works. And the other thing is that the house was super awkward with having the sliding glass door right next to the front door. If you look at the front elevation, or I guess they call it the south elevation. And so for the homeowners,
they connect.
What's that?
Where the sliding door is, that deck.
Yeah, they connect, but there's a window there now, not a deck.
Okay.
The kitchen's kind of on the other side, so they were hoping to, go outside the other side, which would be their dining, onto the deck to the barbecue their steaks and bring them in, and that kind of thing, as opposed to trying to walk through the front room with food every time. It was a bad spec design, and the owners and the contractor and myself were all trying to make a better product. These people are great people, and they plan on living in the home, and they're retiring here, and they want to be a definite part of the Sudden Valley community. So we're just trying to make the best case scenario out of, although the contractor did jump ahead of us on getting this deck out there. We're kind of at your mercy to see if that's something that's aesthetically going to work. And
as long as it's within the setbacks, that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
And then on the drawings here, in what you submitted, there's a significant amount of extra doors and windows drawn in. There's 2 on the front. It looks like there's 4 windows on the side, and maybe another door in the back. Or on the side
so
of the
again,
garage, that might be.
So for the most part, that's accurate, but most of that is, if you can imagine that massive 43-foot tall structure that's 28 feet wide without very many windows and doors, it looked very strange.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the engineer opted to put a middle floor in there. It's not heated, but it does have lights. It's more of a storage area, and it made the most sense to put some windows in there just to kind of make the home feel like it was not just a massive crawl space. So there is a door that goes into a slight crawl space, but again, approved by Sudden Valley, approved by the engineer, done by Todd Fuller, the architect. It's just made the whole structure again actually fit. And the engineer actually said structurally that was the best thing to do because they had I think it was a 18-foot tall wall that didn't have any connection but just from the footing to the main floor joist. So by adding that interstructure floor system, they created a better case for the house if there was an earthquake or anything like that.
Well, I'll applaud you because I wish my builder had the foresight to do this exact same thing at my house. So I just had questions since it's all drawn in. I just wanted to make sure that that's what was happening. So yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the color changes too. It's these grays, the trim, and what is that? Livingston Alpine Trail, and the accent shakes will be Adventurer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really environmentally friendly colors, if you will. They fit that Northwest cedar pine tree kind of forest look. So I was pretty excited about them.
Hey, Todd, my last quick question. Well, what is your lot coverage going to be now with your deck?
As far as the lot coverage, including the impervious surface, or just?
It only adds 160 square feet, Keith.
Yeah, it's really.
That's all the 8 by 20 is that what you said? It's 8 by
28. So it's 224.
Yeah, 224.
And is that a fireplace bump out there on the side that it goes around?
Yeah, that was in the original.
Yeah,
that was in the original approved plan. So.
Yeah, so it's not even going to add that much because that bump out was already included in your impervious surface calculation.
Yeah, and we did no extra trees was taken out. There wasn't any extra limbing done. There wasn't anything. It's just so fits the character of the lot. It seemed. I mean, and again, I'm trying to justify it, but the contractor had a vision and he saw it and he's like, I know I can make these homeowners super happy. They live down in Oregon, and so when they came up, they were just like super excited, like, and so here I am trying to kind of backpedal a little bit and make sure everything is legit and proper. And like I said, Whatcom County is like, for it, the architect as well as the engineer was all okay with it, but we need,
Yeah. Oh, I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Todd, did you get that measurement by chance? Just so I could answer. Right.
Yes, 224.
How about percentage of lot coverage? Were you able
to? Can I email that to you? Because I have to actually do the math here.
Okay. Rich, that is something I was concerned about. I just didn't know. It's really high though. The deck is super high. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so it's been approved in second, so it's approved by majority, Todd.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you guys' time. Thank you.
I look forward to the finished product.
Gosh, me too. These people are excited. It's going to be fun to get them moved in there.
All right, Paul, welcome to the neighborhood when you get here.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, have a good weekend, guys.
You too.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you both.
Bye.
Okay. All right, that got through our attendees, correct, John?
That's everybody.
All right, fantastic. Let's move back up to item number 2, which will be up in our trees for 20 Bowline Court.
That tree wasn't ribboned.
It was not ribboned, is correct.
But it was,
pretty dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
At first I thought it was the tree closest to the street, but then I looked at it and I said, that looks pretty alive to me. And then I checked the second one and it kind of looked like the picture on his request.
Yeah. Those hemlocks are notorious for that. I had one right next to my house, did the same thing, just died.
Yeah, I'll move to approve.
But I would second.
Okay, that's unanimous. That's approved.
It's going to be
Okay,
expensive for the homeowner.
item number 3, 226 Polo Park Drive, tree request.
That also wasn't flagged.
Yeah, that one was a little tougher.
Yeah, neither one were flagged. And so the one, I didn't have a problem with the one right in front of their house. The one is like right on the property line, but it did appear to be on 226's property line. So
Well, he has both property owners have signed it, 228 and 226.
I saw that. But I guess
Yeah.
because it's shared, but it looks like maybe 90-10, if anything, 90-10.
Yeah,
But did you guys have any issues?
I don't.
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, that's approved. Unanimous. Okay, item number 4, 17 Basin View.
Oh, wait, Keith,
Oh, yes, sir.
just so that we have the comment, the
County.
dead tree and also these, when we approve the removals, we should be noting that we would like them to plant a tree. It doesn't have to be a monster sized tree, but they should be replacing a tree for a tree if they're taking trees out.
Yeah, well, that brings up a good point. I was hoping, we'd have regular staff by now. Then we start doing just normal literature when we approve trees, they send out a thing. Hey, this is like refer them to our section in the ACC policies, a county little referral, and county permit required and stuff like that. I think would be great.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was supposed to be in the minutes or if it was on the letter. I knew it was a form letter that used to go out, and I had a tree removed, and that's what they wanted me to do, was just plant another tree. So I did. I planted a smaller tree.
Was that
It's
in the
actually
letter?
quite big.
Was that in the letter they sent you?
It was, but that's been 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they sent the same letter, but I am not 100%. But we should at least have a reference that we're asking, hey, if you're removing a big tree, you should replant something.
Yeah, like on a construction, like it's a 3 for 1. So if they're taking out like say a hazardous tree or a tree that could become hazardous due to construction, we ask them to replant 3 and then replace that 1.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea. And typically I know in the past, especially with Bruce, because Bruce was a big tree guy, he would like determine, we'd walk around and he would say, oh, they should plant 3 here or 2 over there, or no, they don't need to replant any. So I think it is valid. We should say something about that. So, okay, on to 17. So on that one, 26, that was approved, and that was by majority. Unanimous we did on that one. And now we're on to item number 4, which is 17 Basin View. Now, this is the one you were talking about with 2 of them are in the green belt and 1 on their property they want to limb.
Yes.
So the 2 on the green belt, I would refer those to our maintenance manager now, since we currently don't have an ACC staff person. Refer them to the maintenance manager for those 2 trees. And I had no problem with them limbing the tree on their property.
Yes. The ones that were the birch trees, they were so dead. I was like, just go over and push them over. They'll fall down if you just push on them. The bigger ones, probably not, but those little ones, those aren't that bad. But yeah, the maintenance department usually goes in and drops those.
Okay, anyone want to second my, I guess that'll be my motion then, that we refer trees 1 and 2 to the maintenance manager, and tree 3 will give approval for limbing.
Okay. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, on to item number 5, which is 14B, Inlet Circle exterior alteration request.
Oh man, this will be a debate. I've been trying to find a color swatch for banana cream.
What?
Because I don't have the paint code's not on the little swatch thing there.
I'll move to approve. I think the house is almost that same color now, as some kind of ugly yellow now. And I figured what some
Oh,
other
there it is. I found it.
ugly yellow.
Yeah, yellow's not my speed, but if that's what they want, that's a big house to have a lot of yellow on.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's kind of that color now.
Yeah, hopefully it's a little more creamier. It is, and it's in an area that it could get away with it, I think. So,
Yeah,
Well, and there's a big tree in front that right now isn't bloom, but when it, in the summer, it blooms out and covers a good portion of that lower level. It comes up just below that second deck.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm okay with it, and I'm okay with the roof as well. That's roof colors aren't as impactful.
Okay, so who made the motion there? Was it Joe Jean?
yeah, I'll make it.
Yes, yeah, I'll second the.
Okay, Joe Jean made the motion, Rich the second, and that's by majority. Okay, item number 6, 40 Windward Drive. Exterior alteration. It's a backyard fence, a big backyard fence.
It's a huge backyard.
It's what?
It's a big backyard, 40 by 84 by 64.
Yeah, it looked to me like they were putting the fence on the property line, and I'm kind of opposed to that.
I am opposed to that as well.
Yeah,
The backside, it has that big concrete wall.
the block wall, yeah, the retaining wall.
Yeah, I can see them putting the fence there, but on the sides, I think they need to take it off the property lines.
Yeah, and you see on the left-hand side of their house, it says they have 8 feet there. The fence is going to be out 8 feet. I measured from the fence to the stake that's right there, and it was only 7 feet.
Well, yeah, I forgot my measuring thing, and so I kind of paced it off like I do on the golf course. So my pacing isn't that accurate, but it didn't look to me like they were far enough off the property line. I mean, don't we have a 5 foot off the property
Yes.
line?
Yeah, it's
I think
supposed to
that's
be.
what we should,
Yeah, 5 foot back off sides and rear.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm with Joe Jean. I don't mind it being on the property line in the back.
Yeah,
Because isn't there's green belt behind that wall, right?
well,
Yes.
no, it's not, it's a lot.
Oh, it is a lot.
Yeah, 'cause that lot is on, I always forget the name of the streets, whatever, shoot. The street that goes from Marina Drive to Inland Circle, it's that road.
Okay.
And they started construction on it last year sometime, at least cutting out the vegetation. And they put in a kind of a driveway so they could get over it, a bunch of rocks and stuff. And so I think somebody's planning on building there. But like I say, that has that big concrete barrier, and being 5 feet off of that back into the property doesn't do anything, because there's a big drop off from that retaining wall.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm kind of vexed. Like I said, I don't mind it on the property line towards the back. But I can see the 5 foot setbacks on both sides, which would make the length in the back only 74 feet wide. And I think that still gives plenty of room. I do have a question about the gate, same one you had, John. Or not John, I'm sorry, Keith. I think they're fine with the gates on the right side of the house.
Yeah.
But I was confused. Were they saying that they wanted an 18 foot or are they saying that's 8 feet? The gate is 8 feet wide.
That's 18
right?
feet from their house to the property line is 18.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, they can still fit gates if you brought that in 5 feet. They're still gonna have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that at the very least, the setbacks on the side need to be 5 feet in from the property line on both sides. And I mean, I know that's not going to leave them with much on the other side of the house, but they could always run the fence right off the corner of their house, and that would actually probably save them some grief.
Yeah, I agree. The house next door to the left also there, so they have a fence running down the side there, and they started at 5 foot off the property line. And they're like 6 foot off actually. So they did fine. And it goes further off the property line, the further back they go down. So I agree. So my notes on there, I just said approve with what did I put on here? 5 foot off sides and rear, approved.
Yeah, I like the design, but I mean, I like the hog wire fences. They're nice.
So, so are you guys in agreement to that? So you would approve it based on, they would just abide by the setbacks?
Yes, I would.
On all sides or just on the?
Well, I don't mind the, now, I didn't look, darn it, to see where that rear corner was. Do you know if those ECOB blocks, the retaining blocks on the back, were those on the property line?
I think they are, but
Yeah, I didn't look, so I know that's where they want the fence. I don't have a problem with it going there myself either.
yeah, because on the other side, it's a drop off.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
having it 5 feet off of that concrete wall isn't going to do much for anything. I
Right.
guess a deer could walk by, but it could fall off.
So do we need to ask them for a variance request then, so we could approve it, based on the side yard setbacks? We could approve it based on that, and the rear, we could, as long as they submit a variance request, we could help them put the rear.
Yeah, they need to have a variance if they don't want to do the 5 foot.
Okay, so that'll be the comment, so that it's approved with the comments that the side yard setbacks are to remain at 5 feet. The rear setback, we will allow variance on that, provided they submit a variance. So they submit a variance, they can put the fence where they want to at the rear. And that is by unanimous.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, did that get a second? So that's the motion. Did I get a second on that? I'm not sure.
Motion.
Okay, I put an motion forward with the comments.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, Joe Jean, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Okay. So that was 40.
Yeah, those people just bought that house.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
All right, so that was Windward.
Yeah, 40 Windward Circle. We did item number 7, or I'm sorry, Windward Drive. Now we're on to item number 8, which is Horizon Hill Lane, which is a fence request. 8, Horizon Hill.
7.4.
I think that's one I took a picture of. Actually, I'll move to approve that. And I can't remember if it was going to be on the property line or not. It was.
Well, as I say, the question I had, because it says the fence is going to be 8 feet tall 8 feet wide by 6 feet high. Is that the panels? So they're a foot taller than what we would normally allow, and they're going to put it on top of a retaining wall.
That's exact. So yeah, so on top of berm or something, didn't it say?
It says on top of it says above 1 foot above the grade of the adjacent property.
I don't know if I can send you this picture of the thing. Actually, I guess the picture I have is the neighbor's fence, and the neighbor has, it's kind of tall. The neighbor's fence is on top, but there's a rock wall there. And the neighbor's fence is right on top of that. And it has a big gap in the bottom and then a big tall fence on top of it. So it was kind of a weird looking fence. But
because we typically, I don't think privacy fences, because that's what this looks like. It says wall/fence. This is the only purpose that I can see for this is a privacy fence, and we don't allow those.
Yeah, we don't allow privacy fence. We allow panels, but not joined together, so they can't be continually joined panels. And we do allow those to be 6 foot tall.
Did you guys go look at this? Do you know how I can send you a picture?
I do not know how to, but I will say, so my
Email.
issue with this wall, the way they showed it, the retaining wall went off of one property and meandered onto the other property.
Yeah, when I drove by, I noticed that. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know how, so I kind of, I don't know if you could see, that's kind of how it went. You can see the retaining wall was on their property and then it went off their property. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, they had their property line marked all the way from the front to the rear. And there's a big tree there. And so it looks to me there's going to be a big gap between
Yeah, something's gonna happen.
yeah, the wall, the fence that's there.
Yeah, one fence is gonna be up high and another fence is gonna be low or or it's gonna go on an angle down. Something's gonna happen. Because it's not gonna follow that retaining wall. I wish they were here, actually. We could ask them.
I wish I could send you this picture.
Email. That'd be the easiest way to send it.
Yeah, okay.
And they're putting it, you're right, Rich. So they're adding a foot and putting in a foot retaining wall, then adding the fence on top of it. So you're right. According to our rules, we're supposed to measure from would be the other side of that built berm. They're actually building a berm then, or a retaining wall.
So yeah, I mean, so based on what I saw, I was thinking the fence was gonna be like almost 9 feet tall, which is an awful big fence. Although it's not enclosed, I'll give them credit, but that's also a pretty long wall. It looked to me about, again, I didn't measure, but maybe 30 feet long total.
So it sounds like that we're gonna deny this as submitted. Like, we're not
We just need
opposed.
to know more.
Can we go on to a next one until I can figure out how to, I'm going to email this to you guys right now.
Nope, too late. Sorry. We got time. Go ahead, Joe Jean. Take your time. You get it to us.
Let me see. Okay, oop.
You know, if you type it into Google, you can look at street views of it. Or
I
it looks
just-
like it was recently for
I
sale.
just sent it to you. An email with the 2 pictures.
Perfect.
It's got to go a long ways from,
Yep, I did drive by. Yep, this is the one I saw. So honestly, I don't think the neighbor's fence is approved.
well, the neighbor's fence is pretty bizarre too.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's what I was trying to understand. It looked to me like they're basically trying to hide their view of the neighbor's fence
Yeah.
by going up as high and going on top of those rocks or that retaining wall.
Did you get both of the pictures?
Yes.
I didn't get them. Did you send them to me too, Joe Jean?
Yeah,
Which email? The board or?
I don't remember. It was,
I see it. I see it. I got it now. Oh, yeah. So see how that retaining wall goes, everything, yeah.
And you see there, the second picture is of the neighbor's fence that's kind
Yeah.
of.
It's
You know-
basically wire underneath and then wood stacked on top.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
so
I can
I
see
would say
all the-
that the neighbor's fence staff needs to maybe address that. That's a compliance issue that they need to take a look at. And then for these folks, I mean, they're built, because there's no way there's a 5-foot setback based on where that string is run.
Yeah, well, that string is actually their property line.
Yeah, so if you look at the side of their house, if they're gonna run within the 5-foot setback, they're gonna basically be running it off the corner of that house.
Yeah,
So I mean, I think I wouldn't approve this just in the sense that we need to get clarification what's happening. And then, I mean, I think there's even a bigger issue between them and the neighbors with that tree sitting on top of the rocks.
well,
Yeah.
the unfortunate thing is we don't have any compliance person.
Was, yeah, in the past, we always referred it to staff and then they handled it however they handle it.
Well, frankly, I would want to build a house or a fence to block that view also.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to deny as submitted. But we need to give them the comments, and the comments are going to be item number 1.
The fence needs to be within the setbacks or wall, as it were.
Or ask for variance.
Or variance requests. So
Variance. And then 2, we need to have staff look at the fence at the house next door.
yeah.
But we have no staff currently, but haven't for a long time.
Well, there's a deputy GM. He has a car.
Yeah, well, I put him down already. That's what I wrote down at the bottom. I wrote compliance issue, deputy GM.
Yep.
We'll see. And then
The fence needs to be within the guidelines and the policies. So it can't be a privacy fence. It needs to comply with what's approved in the policy manual.
so we'll refer them to 14.6.9 in the policies. They can look at that, and then they can look up the appendix that's associated with that and see the fence types. I think that's great. So that's a great motion, and that was moved by
Rich.
by who?
By me.
By
Rich.
Rich. Yep. Okay. By Rich,
I'll approve.
and seconded by Joe Jean. And that's unanimous with those comments. Okay, that was item number 8. We're on to item number 9, 101 Grandview. There's a little bike enclosure they want to put at the end of their driveway. Last year they came through with something down there too, because I remember walking down at the end and looking down there, but I didn't see. I'm not sure whatever happened to it or what it was, but they apparently didn't do it.
Which one are we on? The Grandview?
The 101 Grandview. You want to put like the bike locker at the bottom of the drive aisle. It's not visible from the street, or actually barely. You might be able to see it a little bit, but barely
I
visible.
was gonna say, I thought they'd be able to see it from the street, but I would move to approve.
Yeah, I would move to approve exhibit 1, the enclosed shed.
My only comment would be that the shed is supposed to match the exterior of the house.
Yeah, the paint color.
Yeah. So, because I thought when I saw the exhibit A, is that one of those like Rubbermaid plastic kind of storage sheds? Is that what it is?
Well, that's what it looks like.
Because I just saw, I can only make out bicycle storage shed on the writing in the copy I have.
Can you paint those kind of things?
I mean, I'm not opposed to them necessarily, but the policy says it's supposed to be the same as the house. It should match the shed is supposed to match the house siding. Yeah.
Well, the good
Siding
thing is
enclosed.
it's gonna hide the garbage cans.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus.
Yeah, that's kind of how I saw it. It was like,
I mean, he's got plenty of space based on that lot size, so I'm not worried about any of that stuff. It's just, I think we have to just hold them within the policy that the shed's approved, but you need to match it to your house.
okay, so we'll say bicycle shed approved. Bicycle shed. How about dimensions or footprint approved?
Yeah.
But must match house.
Yeah. Per policy. I forget where that's at in the policy, but it's somewhere in there.
Must best match. Exterior. Okay, yeah, and I do know that we do have that policy. Gosh, I can't remember it right now.
That's the
Yeah.
color that must match, correct?
I think it's supposed to be like style
Yeah, it's
siding.
supposed to be,
Generally,
Yeah.
if they're building it,
yeah, it's like color and
Yeah.
material. So like we wouldn't allow like a rust-on siding on a shed. If you had like hardy plank siding on your house, your shed should be hardy plank siding to match the house. And the same with the roof. So the roof should match the house. And so
Yeah.
yeah, but this looks like it's a pre-purchased.
it is.
I wonder how tall that is. I can't make out the full dimensions. If it's just high enough to fit a bike in it. Like,
It's
is it that
he
short?
wrote it up there at 74 by 74 by 60 inches tall.
Oh, there it is. I like zooming in, can't see it. Yeah, so that's what, just
Six
6 feet?
by 6, yeah. It's a little pad.
Yeah, like I said, that's my only thing is just if we make other people follow the policy, we should urge them to follow the policy as well.
Okay, so the motion is move to approve. Wow, let's see how we're gonna do that.
Move to approve with comment.
Yeah, with comments. It's the comments that are the hard part. So it's moved to approve with comments, and the comments being that the shed to best match.
The exterior of the home per policy, per the ACC policy.
Okay, shed to best match exterior of the homes per ACC policy.
And if I ever find the section, I'll tell you what it is, but I can't. I'm looking at it, but I just can't find it right now.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. Should be 14.6.5.
Accessory structures. Yeah, I just found it.
Yeah, okay. So we'll refer that to 14.6.5. Okay, can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Fine.
Okay, so we're approving the bike shed with the comments. Okay. Item number 10, 26 Cascade Lane. It's a fence request. And actually this one, I was baffled because I think we already approved this one.
I thought so too. We approved it the last meeting.
Yeah, okay, so that one, I wrote in there prior approved. So this one has already been approved. It just somehow erroneously got submitted again. So that one has been approved. So we're gonna move on to item number 11.
Oh, real quick, just Joe
Yeah.
Jean. So what the policy says under 14.6.5, it says accessory structures shall be consistent with the main structure in terms of architectural character, materials, and finishes. And then it's got a whole bunch of other stuff too, but.
Okay, item number 11, we've already heard, so we're gonna move on to, yeah, so that is important that we include that. We should start including all the policies so people can start just looking them up. Like when, they're doing a shed or doing something, just throw that in there so they get removing a tree and throw the policy in there.
Well,
But-
and I know why it's written that way. It's because in general, all accessory structures are supposed to be attached to the home.
Yeah,
Unless topography or something prevents it. That's why it's supposed to match the structure so that you don't just attach plywood to the side of your house and call it a shed.
Okay, we're on to item number 14 is 357 Sudden Valley Drive, and it's a fence request. And then item number 15 is 357 Sudden Valley Drive for the variance request for the fence.
I'll come get you in a bit. 357.
Whoops.
I had a question about how high they were gonna make it.
Hey, we skipped one too.
It says it's 4 foot high, the fence request. Yeah, it says wood and wire 4 feet high. On item 14, is that the one we're still on?
We're on 14.
Yeah, I skipped item number 12. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
if we want to go back, let's go back to item number 12,
Okay.
which is 31 Sudden Valley Drive. I'm sorry, I jumped the
Yeah,
gun there.
Oh, okay.
see, now they're,
That's another fence request.
Yeah, another fence request, and even more so, a privacy fence request. That's all joined together.
yeah, their privacy fence is, I mean, all it is, you know, it has space between the slats as opposed to, don't we usually have to have privacy fences a foot apart or something?
Yes.
But,
Well, my understanding is, so you would have a privacy panel and then like 4 feet in between and another privacy panel. And then, because the privacy panel is 8 foot long, you could have a privacy panel and 4 feet in between a privacy panel. And I've also seen it done where they've set them out front, like a foot or 18 inches. So you have a privacy panel, then that gap of 4 feet, then a privacy panel that's set up in front of that gap, like a foot or 18 inches in front of that gap.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, to allow, it's to allow wildlife through. If a deer comes wandering along, he doesn't have to go around just a wall in the middle of the yard.
yeah, so it's like staggered and then still allows that privacy fence. And that's kind of the way I would see this to be done here.
Yeah, and based on the drawing, that wouldn't be hard to do with what she's proposing. If you just remove 2 of those panels and move them forward, the second and the fourth panel, if you just take those out, she's got 3, and then you move those other 2 forward by 4 feet.
Did you see that place?
I did.
I drove by. The one thing I was reading about was the neighbors, and that's what I was like, if I get out here, I might get yelled at by the neighbors.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be very much space in where they want to build that fence.
Yeah.
And so, your theory about moving, staggering every other panel would probably not work there. But I don't know how we could suggest it that it would work.
Let's see. Take a look.
Especially with the comments. And actually, when I was there looking at it, some person stormed into the house next door, but I chose not to say anything.
Oh, that's the one. That's right around the corner from the fence house. That's right.
So so these guys are having a lot of, that's a tree guy, isn't it, over there or something? I don't know. So they're having some issues, I guess, and they want to put a little privacy fence up, but we don't allow that panel the way they show it on this diagram. So, and I know they want to buy the panels that way.
Yeah, you have the picture of the one they sent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6.5 feet by 8 foot.
Well, I mean, they're proposing at least 35 feet of fence there, so it's not that small.
Well, I meant the depth from the drive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, because that's just a tiny yard.
There's a big drop off to the next door neighbors, or a slope off. And it's kind of close to Sudden Valley Drive too.
Well, and the neighbors behind them, that's the house we were looking at with the fence on Horizon Hill. That's the neighbors actually directly behind and to the side of this house.
Is it really?
Yeah. 31 Sudden Valley Drive.
No, Horizon Hill Lane is in gate 1. Are you talking about number 8, Rich? Item number 8?
Yeah, I'm looking at the map because I'm looking at the Google Maps of it. So I was just trying to figure out if I went to this house, and I did. Am I at the wrong address? 31 Sudden Valley Drive. Yeah, Horizon Hill Lane runs into Sudden Valley Drive. The corner.
No, it doesn't. Horizon Hill Lane is in gate 1.
Yeah, so is this Sudden Valley Drive,
No,
right down by the marina. Am I looking at the
no,
wrong
Sudden
place?
Valley, when they renamed a street, Sudden Valley Drive left gate 1, and now that's Windward. You must be looking at a really old map.
It must be. That's weird. Huh. Well, I was like, yeah, I know I drove by this house. No, I'm gonna find it the right way then. I'll go to this one.
So on this one, I'm guessing we're going to suggest that they defer it, and I would defer it with comments that they would look up section 14.6.9 in our policies, which recommends the types of fences and what they can use in order to appendix. That would be my recommendation. I mean, unless you want to try to tell them to redesign their fence layout they currently have on here.
Well, did you get out of your car and look at it?
I did, yeah.
And you didn't think it was, I mean, it really looked like a small place where they wanted to have their kids be able to play. I mean, they must be tiny little kids.
Yeah, I'm not, if you want to make it different, so you sound like, would you be for that privacy fence, that type of slat fence?
No, but
Okay.
I don't know. They have my sympathy. Okay, I don't know how to solve their problem.
Yeah, so we can't allow that particular fence like that, the way they have it designed on here.
Especially that close to the road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think, well, and I think the comments could be, that we're deferring it, but they need to design differently, because I think they could achieve the same effect with just 4 panels, and if they offset them. I think you'd still get the effect that you're looking for in 30 feet of fence instead of 35 feet of fence. Does that make sense? Or what are they, 6 feet wide, or however wide they are?
Yes, 6.5 feet wide panels. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and we could offset those, even stagger them, even like 18 inches off out in the front, or maybe 2 feet. It is a tight area. I agree with what Jojean's saying. They didn't have a lot of room, but I think they could make this work and get the privacy that they're kind of looking for. Now, it's certainly not going to keep kids in there, and it's not meant for that. It's just kind of like an open.
Yeah. Well, you could even do a fence panel, and then it doesn't have to be 5 feet in front, but just maybe a foot or 2.
Yes.
To offset it enough to where a person or an animal could walk through.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to make a major design change, but you could stagger this a bit and get the same effect.
Okay, so we're gonna make the motion to defer with the comment of referring them to section 14.6.9 so they can get familiar with our fencing requirements, and then also recommending that they look at the privacy panels as they want to do, and the idea of staggering them to still get their privacy and allowing the openness that we can all approve. And I think it would meet their objective just fine if they understood what we mean. So we'll do the staggering. Okay, recommend the staggering of panels. Okay, all in favor? Oh, second on that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, Jojean second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. All right, and that was item number 12. So we already did 13. So now we're going to go back to item number 14, which is 357 Sudden Valley Drive, and item number 15, also 357 Sudden Valley Drive. So it's a fence request and a variance request.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm confused what the variance is for.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Let me see what notes.
Is it to move the gate?
And I also want them 5 feet off the property line.
Yeah, they've got, is maybe that the variance request? I don't know.
Okay, this, let me see, coming back to my head here. Oh, okay, the variance. Okay, so the variance request, the only place I saw that they needed a variance request was on that rear property line. Because they on the sides, they didn't need it. Oh, they did need it on the other side too. So as you look at the house right now, the property on the left, there's a house right there. That's an existing fence. And that wood pile they have shown right there is attached to that neighbor's existing fence. And then they're going to take their fence on down to that wood pile shack. So,
Okay.
so they seemed,
So it says it's not gonna go in the front yard. That's what the variance is, an edit to the request.
I'm sorry, what, Rich?
So the variance says this is an edit to our submitted fence request. Because they submitted the fence request on 3/18 and the variance was submitted on 4/15. And it says the front will not be fenced in and the gate to the fence will be at the back end of the home on each side of the house. That's the variance, is that they redesigned it to not go to the front yard.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because they initially wanted a 5 foot tall fence. Now they want it 4 feet. Still wooden wire.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with the fence. It looks like it's mostly in the back anyway, and gates are a part of building a fence. I think you're right, just as long as they follow the 5 foot setbacks.
Yeah, for some reason, I think in the back, they're not going to be able to, based on where I saw that property line marker. I think they needed a variance on that back, but it's like weird, right? Because it's a little like a keyway back there or something that goes to another house. It's a little retaining wall behind there. There's another house right behind them. So I thought the fence was fine. It kind of offered them a little privacy, and they just got a new dog, you know, so I thought it was fine. And it's in a location that the fence shouldn't be an issue for anybody. And I talked to the homeowner that was, I guess a tree fell in that lady's house. Right behind them. I talked to that lady, the mom down there, and she had no issues with it. We got any more discussion on that? Any comment?
I think it's good.
I'll approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, so that has been approved. We're approving the variance and the fence request. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Well, they need to do a variance if they want to run the fence on the property line. That's the comment.
And
Because
I
it
would be,
does say that, it says they want to follow the property line down the side of the house and follow the back of the property line. So they need a variance if they're going to be on the property lines.
okay, so the comments is approved. Yeah, because they didn't say that. It's just,
Yeah, because they're in opposite order on the
I
stand.
agree. I agree, and they didn't say that on their variance request, that it's for a variance to be on the property line, just as a change in what they previously submitted, so I agree. So the comment would be it's approved, providing they abide by the setback rules.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. And if they need to change, then they need to submit a variance for setback issues, but okay. All right, so that takes care of both of those, and item 16 and 17, we've already done.
Yeah.
Wow, good job, guys.
And it's not even 8 o'clock yet.
What the heck?
Wow, I'm in trouble. I told my wife we'd be done by 7 tonight. Yep. All right. Well, you guys got anything else? We are being recorded, but if you have anything else we want to talk about for the meeting, we can do that now. And if not, then we can unrecord or stop the recording and have a quick conversation.
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay. I'll second that. Meeting's adjourned.